Welcome back. This past weekend's weather may have given you and your family the first chance this year for significant outdoor time.
Yeah, and while we love the sunshine, there are a few things you should do when it comes to springtime and your pets. And for our pet questions, we turn to veterinarian Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike, we're going to get to allergies in a minute because I know that's a big one that you want to talk about. But you say there's something else to be on the lookout for when it comes to your pets and pesticides in particular, right?
Yeah, so pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, whatever you want to call them, and fertilizers. Every year, pets ingest these things, and then they get very sick. Some even die. So now's the time to be aware of it when you're cleaning out the garage or you're going out to fertilize the lawn. Make sure you leave enough time for the runoff. Sometimes a good rain or watering your lawn and letting that run off is a good thing to do. The pets like to drink that water, who knows why, and that's what can get them into trouble. Make sure you dilute them properly so you're not putting really concentrated pesticides and herbicides out there. And the big ones, cocoa mulch, bone meal, and blood meal fertilizers attract dogs to them, and they like to ingest them, and that can lead to toxicity and even obstructions. So those are things to be aware about as we're getting back out into the spring and planting things.
Can I ask a follow-up question about the mulch? So is there a type of mulch that is actually poisonous? I mean, is there mulch you can buy that would keep your dog away? Because I happen to know a dog, our great friends have a dog, she loves to go out there and just start eating the mulch.
That's what happens, and the cocoa mulch attracts them, and that can give them chocolate toxicity. Believe it or not, blood meal and bone meal smells good to them, so they go and eat it, and then that can cause an obstruction. A lot of problems there, some severe vomiting too. But the mulches that you can use, the bark mulches are good. I like to say stone is good if putting stones around, but there are some people who are shaking their heads saying, no, my dog eats rocks too. So you have to just supervise, be careful, and I'd stick with the bark mulches. Those don't seem to cause problems.
Some good advice. Yeah, some dogs will eat anything, even rocks. It's amazing. We just saw some video a few minutes ago about a bear wandering around a neighborhood. And, you know, I long thought that's just for the woods. That's out for the wilderness. But honestly, we've seen them in the city. We see them roam just about anywhere now.
Yeah, we want to stay away from wildlife. You know, seal up your trash cans. I mean, they're powerful. They've gotten into the trash already down at my father's house, and they can spread it for 50, you know, they spread it everywhere. 100 yards from your house, 200 yards from your house, you're still finding trash that they spread. But we have to be careful because springtime brings the cubs, and we don't want to go out there and be real brave. Leave wildlife alone. They're lovely to look at, but don't interfere. And if you see babies, fawns, things like that, it's never a good encounter to go and try to touch them or get too close. So I always tell people, just leave them where they're at, stay away, call somebody if it's bothering you, a game commissioner, a rehabilitator, a wildlife rehabilitator, and get advice, but don't interact with them.
Yeah, because if you see a baby, there's probably a protective parent somewhere right nearby, too, that you do not want to encounter. All right, let's talk about allergies, because we mentioned that at the top of this, and that's important. So what, dogs and cats, can they have allergies too?
Yeah, so as the pollens come out, you start seeing more allergies. And this is an interesting fact for people. If your dogs, say they started allergies last summer, they grow into allergies, so it's worse. It may start this spring. So there are some things that you can do to try to prevent or slow down the allergy season. One is to make sure they're on a good diet and that they're getting omega-3 fatty acids. That helps reduce the inflammation in their skin. It helps reduce the effects of allergies. The other things are keep some Benadryl on hand. Speak to your veterinarian about the proper dose for your pet. And simple things like that can stave off some suffering for your pet if they start to get these allergies. And also there are some good baths that we can use on dogs to keep the allergens off their fur or to cut through the dander so that they're less allergic to us and they also have less dander on them if they happen to be allergic.
Dr. Mike, I know I talked to you several times about even Kevin, and they can be allergic to food, they can be allergic to the outside, just like we suffer, they suffer too.
That's exactly right. Three main things that they're allergic to. Parasites, fleas, ticks, everybody knows that. Even intestinal parasites can cause allergies. But environmental things, outdoors and indoor environmental things, the pollens and the like, the dust mites inside, and of course food, like you said. Those are the three big things animals are allergic to, and that's what we have to narrow down when we're trying to help them to see that we can give them the best relief.
Oh,
all really timely stuff. Thank you, as always, Dr. Mike. I feel I got an education today.
Well, thanks. It's always my pleasure.
Good to
All
see
right,
you.
take care.
Dr. Mike Hutchinson of Animal General in Cranberry, a regular PCL contributor. You can also find him on KDKA Radio.